Good afternoon and happy Easter. Welcome to the fifth episode of NOLITC Cares webinar. In our last program, we talked about spiritual healing in the time of pandemic with our speaker, Reverend Father Giovanni G. Garde. The number of social media users in the Philippines at the start of 2022 was equivalent to 82% of the total population, and we are also the top internet user worldwide. But how does it impact our mental health? NOLIC Cares is a God project of the Office of the Governor of the Province of Negros Occidental, focusing on the promotion of self care and mental health during this time of pandemic in collaboration with Hearticulate Psychological Center and TUPV Cares.
The social media is now playing a central role in the lives of the youth. The media landscape is larger and more diverse than ever before, with the youth having access to an unprecedented volume of digital content across numerous platforms such as smartphones, tablets, computers, laptops, and even gaming consoles. Nearly all adolescents aged 13 to 17 use some form of social media, and the most popular ones, such as YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and even TikTok. Research is beginning to uncover how specific social media experiences may influence youth mental health. This afternoon, we are going to dive deeper into the potential benefits and risks of social media in youth mental health.
Indeed, social media has created both significant new challenges and exciting opportunities, most especially to the youth of today. One of the famous quotes of Aristotle is that human beings are social animals. We cannot live in isolation. We need interaction. So, however, the same social media that reduces isolation also creates social isolation and reduces face-to-face interaction. So how does it affect the mental health of the youth and how can we be of help to them? Join our discussion this afternoon with our resource speaker, and please, we encourage you to listen, participate, and engage to our discussion and through your comments and reactions to our Facebook page and YouTube channel.
All right. Again, maayong hapon sa tanan. Hello, good afternoon to wherever you are. My name is Miss Redon Lorente and I am your host for today. The fifth episode of NOLITC Cares webinar is about the impact of social media on youth mental health. A very warm welcome to all of our friends over at Facebook and YouTube live stream. Kindly comment your name and where you are joining us from, or you may also shout out your friends and your colleagues in the comment section. We will be reading your comments later on. And before we begin, we would like to remind you with just some of these house rules in order to ensure the smooth flow of our webinar. Firstly, kindly fill out the online attendance right now. The link to the online attendance form is pinned in the comment section, or you may scan the QR code that is flashed on your screen right now. Thank you. We will not be able to catch up with all of your comments. So if you have any questions, please post them in the open forum form link, which can be found in the description box below as well. Alternatively, you may also place your questions in the comment section. Please feel free to post some insights in there as well. We would be reading your insights and reactions. The moderator will bring them up towards the end of the presentation. You will also be receiving a certificate for attending this webinar online. You only need to accomplish the online evaluation. Again, that can be found in the comment section later on, or you may also scan the QR code that will be flashed on your screen. Last but not the least, Please invite your peers, your colleagues, and loved ones to join us in this very meaningful and insightful webinar. If you have not seen our previous posts yet, you can always check out our social media accounts. Kindly follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hello there once again. You are watching the NOLITC Cares webinar with the title Social Impact of Impact of Social Media on Youth and Mental Health. Our speaker for today is a psychologist, dean, researcher, and a community volunteer. He has spoken about mental health awareness and published several journals on drug rehabilitation and psychology. He earned his doctorate degree in psychology from University of Negros Occidental Recoletos and is currently completing his dissertation in Doctor of Education, major in guidance and counseling. He is a licensed psychologist and psychometrician and has focused on recovery and spreading awareness about mental health, drug rehabilitation, and crisis and psychotrauma management. He is currently the Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences, Carlos Hilado Memorial State College, now a university. Our speaker also actively engages in community and volunteer work. He is the project leader of several projects, namely Project Aurora, which is ensuring sound mental health in the community, that is an extension project of the university where he is currently working as a dean. He is also the volunteer therapist and counselor for wellness Camp to Road Recovery Program for drug surrenderers and also a volunteer counselor of Sacred Heart Seminary. He spends his free time with his loved ones and his pets. He has a lot of dogs. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming to our virtual stage. Let us also give a virtual clap reaction and comments to Dr. RJ Alvarado. Hello, Doc. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon. Am I audible, Miss
Yes, you
Dawn?
are. Yes, you are.
All
How are
right.
you doing, Doc?
Doing better than good,
Mhm.
especially that, of course, this morning it was announced that our college was officially declared by the Commission on Higher Education as a university.
Mhm.
So it's
Yes,
a very good news to all of us, especially in the
ex-
community.
yes, Doc. And our center would like to extend congratulations to you and the rest of the faculty and staff of Carlos Salado Memorial State University. And without further ado, we would like to give you the virtual floor. It's now yours for your presentation.
All right. Thank you so much. Okay, allow me to share my PowerPoint presentation. Can you see my presentation?
Okay, now
Uh,
could you please proceed to the first slide of your presentation, Doc? Okay, yeah, or probably you could share it again.
Okay, okay.
All right. And while Doc RJ is sharing his presentation, we would like to announce to our audience that they could participate in our discussion by posting their questions or feedback to our open forum form link. We will be sharing with you the link to the open forum in the comment section. All right. And also, we would like to, yeah, read the shout outs of our virtual audience. Hello there, Sir Marvin. Thank you for joining us. Good afternoon to you as well. We have here Max Pian. Hello. And yes, good afternoon, Sir Peter Caballo Libredilia. I believe Sir Peter is from Pontevedra National High School, if I'm not mistaken. Good afternoon. Miss Chari Christine Valibert Peñaflor, good afternoon as well. And Miss Arlene Ababaw Matula. Thank you for joining us. And we also have faculty and staff from the Schools Division Office of Cabangcalan City. Salamat sa inyong sa inyong presensya. Okay, so I guess Doc, you are ready with your presentation.
All right. So once again, good afternoon. Okay. Kitao naman ang presentation ko, Miss Daw, no? Yeah.
Yes.
And because it's my first time to use StreamYard. Miss Dawn, am I presenting my PowerPoint?
Yes, Doc, we could see your presentation and we could also hear you. Yeah, please
All right.
go on,
So
continue.
okay, thank you, Miss Dawn. Right. So once again, good afternoon. Foremost, I would like to extend my sincerest gratitude to the staff at Negros Occidental Language and Information Technology Center, Doc Tina Orbi Sido, Ma'am Celia Trio, Ma'am Mimi Vargas, and of course, Ma'am Red Dawn. Thank you so much for inviting me over to speak on a very relevant topic on the impact of social media and youth mental health, especially that we are now 2 years, more than 2 years into the pandemic, and of course, we can still feel the adverse effect of the pandemic. They said that in this pandemic, we are to expect three waves, right? So the first wave is about the health concern. Okay, that was the time in which we are preoccupied about the COVID-19, taking care of our health and not to uh, stay lenient because we may contract the virus. Now, if you can still remember, that was time is very fleeting. No, that was already 2 years ago. Especially on the times we are in the enhanced community quarantine. And of course, they said that the second wave pertains to the economic impact of the pandemic. No, and now we're starting to get the feel of that particular wave on its economic aspect. And they said researchers said that the third wave of this pandemic will be on the mental health. Okay, and pertaining to the mental health, it's very important to take note that in our overall health, it involves not only the physical health, but of course the mental health as well, because they said that there's no health without mental health. That's why it's very relevant, especially that during this time of pandemic, we are into isolation. We feel being isolated because of the quarantine protocols, the community quarantine. That's why we feel isolated. And now, because of that, we ought to make use fully, its full extent, social media. because we were not able to, of course, in the old normal, we were able to socially meet with our loved ones, our friends. But during this pandemic, our movements were limited. And that's why it's very important to discuss the impact of social media on the youth mental health. And of course, before I formally start with my discussion on this particular topic, may I ask now, is it okay, Ms. Don, to have a little warm-up activities for our participants so that at least no, we can catch their attention. At least we could start with building up our rapport with our participants. So is it okay,
Mm.
Ms. Don?
Yeah, sure, Doc. And we
All
will
right.
be
So
reading
for
the
our yeah,
answers.
okay. Thank you so much. Okay. All right. So my dear participants of this webinar, the impact of social media on youth mental health uh, for a while. Okay. May I ask that you get a maybe a pen or a pencil and a little paper that you can write on. Is it okay? So I think Miss Donna will just give them 1 minute.
Mm. Okay.
Okay,
So
so sige Miss Don.
okay, we would like to request our virtual audience participants to kindly get a piece of paper and a pen. I've already got mine, Doc RJ. So, and a pen with you. We will be participating in the short activity with Doc RJ.
All right. Okay. So just give a thumbs up if you're done. Okay.
Yep.
This one's scratch paper lang, anything that you can write on so that you can take note or remember the answers in these activities.
All right. Doc, our participants have responded that they are ready. Done po.
Okay.
Mm.
All right. So for our first warm up activities, no, I'll give the instruction, and of course, now please take note of your answers for this activity.
Mhm.
All right. Okay. So we have our first activity, activity number one. Okay. So the instruction will be put the following animals in the order of your preference. So there are five animals here. First is the cow, the tiger, the sheep, the horse, and the pig. Okay. So please take note. Please take note. And you put the five animals in order of your preference, no? Which is maybe, for example, your number one preference is a horse. Okay, second is
Mhm.
sheep. Maybe a third is tiger. Fourth is a cow, and a fifth is a pig. Depends on your preference. All
All
right.
right. Okay. Yes.
Okay.
Could they also share their answers, Doc, in the comment
Uh,
section?
later.
Later. All right. Okay.
Later.
So
Okay.
just
Just
write
finish now.
them
We'll just
down.
finish the three activities, and after that, no, you can share your answer once we
Mm-hmm.
discuss what you have written there in your papers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Again, put the following five animals in the order of your preference: the cow, tiger, sheep, horse, and pig. Okay. Just give me a thumbs up if you're done.
Okay. Can you please give us a thumbs up? Okay, done. All right. We have a comment here.
All right. How about the others?
Yes, they are sending thumbs up, Doc.
Okay. All right. So I'm assuming that all our participants already take note of their answers. And of
Mm-hmm.
course, now you take note of your answers because later on, after we have presented the three activities, now we will discuss your answers one by one. All
Whoa.
right.
All right.
Okay. So let us proceed to the next activity. Okay. All right. For our activity number two, Write one word that describes each one of the following. Okay? Only
Mhm.
one word. Okay. Only one word to describe the following. Okay? Dog, cat,
Mhm.
rat, coffee, and seat.
Mhm.
Okay? Only one word to describe the following.
Okay.
Okay, maybe for example, okay, dog for dog. For example, your description of a dog is the dog is friendly. So you
Mhm.
write it there, no? Okay, one word that describes each of the following: dog, cat, rat, copy, and seat.
Okay. So they're going to write dog, for example, and then
Yes,
write
yes,
a word
yes, yes,
on
yes.
the
For
side of
example,
the.
dog. Yes, yes, yes,
Okay.
miss. Para hindi malipatan kay kung hindi na pagbutangan karon basi malipatan ninyo kung ano to nga items below being
Mm-hmm.
mentioned ang describe ninyo. All right?
So the first word that would come to their
Come
mind when
in your
they read.
mind. Yes, yes.
Yes,
That's correct. That's correct. Yeah, of course, no. Miss
they
Dawn is
could
also
write
a
it down.
psychology graduate now. Your first impression
Okay.
of the
Yes.
following. Okay? I hope the others are also participating, no?
And they
Because
should not overthink
this is
the
very yeah,
right.
yeah, correct. Don't overthink and don't overanalyze your answer.
Mm.
Okay, this is because I really hope that you're participating because this is a very interesting activity. After we are done, we're
Mm-hmm.
going to discuss all your answers. So,
Nice.
oh, all right, okay,
We have a comment here. Done na po sa activity number 2. Ang
okay.
bilis
So I'll just
niya.
give another 15 seconds, I think.
Okay,
Okay,
so okay. And to our participants who are done, could you please give us a thumbs up so that we would know if how many of you are done with activity 1 and 2. Okay? And we could also see how many of us are exactly interacting right now.
all right, okay. I think we can proceed now to the third activity.
Okay?
Okay, all right. For our activity number 3, okay, think of someone who also, of course, knows you and is important to you, which you can relate them to the following colors. Please do not repeat your answer twice. Name
Mhm.
just one person for each color: yellow, orange, red, white, and green. Okay, so you just associate one person for each color. Let's say, for example, if for color white, for example, if you associate your best friend for the
Mhm.
that particular color white, so you put the
Mhm.
name of that person.
Mhm.
Okay, who do you associate for the
Mhm.
color yellow, color
Okay.
orange, color red,
Are
white,
they
and
supposed
green?
Yeah, sorry daw. Are they supposed to be closely related to you or can it
Not
be
not
like a
necessarily,
celebrity?
not necessarily, but of course, no. The instruction there is think of someone who also knows you. Dapat
Mhm.
kilala man kung sino na ibutang ninyo, kilala ka man sang person nga ibutang nyo or i-associate nyo sa different colors. So dapat kilala man kilala ka man nila, kilala
Mhm.
mo man sila.
Okay.
Of course, no. Dapat the person knows you as well.
Yeah, correct.
All right.
Wow, this is really interesting.
Okay. Yeah. I think the other participants, Miss Dono, are really analyzing their answers. They're
Yes,
really overthinking. Kung sino gid ang ano gid ang appropriate gid for each colors that
mhm.
they associate.
Right. Because your instruction doc is think of someone who knows
Of
you
course.
and
Yes.
also knows you. Okay, so
Of
it could be
course.
like in your circle, in your
Yes.
community, school,
Family.
work,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Yes.
Family. Yep.
All
And
right.
for
I
those who
yes,
are
yes, Miss.
to those who are just joining us, who just tuned in, they could still participate in activity 3. Okay. Yep. And if you are done as well, please give us a thumbs up. Okay. Shoot a thumbs up reaction, or you may comment in the comment section done, so that Doc RJ would know if you are done with activity number 3.
All right. I think our participants are done, Miss Dawn, no? Okay,
Okay. So we
done.
have
Okay,
here a
there are
comment here
already some
done.
comments there. Yes, yes.
Mhm.
Okay, so please get hold of your paper, now get hold of your answers, and let us try to look into your answers for the 3 activities. All right, so I think, no, Dana siguro Miss Don, and we could proceed
Yes.
on
Hmm.
discussing the answers of our dear participants.
We are excited.
All right, okay. Okay, so please be sure that your answers are what you, of course, really want. All
Wow.
right. Okay. So the answer. So by the way, I just want to give some overview of this activity, Miss
Mm-hmm.
Dono. If they are a graduate of psychology, this particular activity is anchored, no, on the
Mm-hmm.
psychoanalytic theory of Sigmund Freud. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
basically it really talks about revealing some unconscious aspect of your personality.
Okay.
Okay, but of course, if you ought to use this in research, no, please, of course, no, don't use this in research because
Mm-hmm.
the validity, the psychometric properties, the validity and reliability of this
Mm-hmm.
test is questionable. So we're just for the sake of ano,
This is only for just for fun, Doc. But
yes,
of
just
course,
for
it
fun.
could
But of course,
reveal.
it was anchored
Mm-hmm.
in the psychoanalytic theory of Sigmund
Mm-hmm.
Freud.
Or,
All
yeah.
right. Okay. Okay. All right. So for activity number 1, let us check activity number 1.
Okay, here we
Okay.
go. The
This will
answer.
define for activity number 1. This will define your priorities in life. So let us
Mm-hmm.
check your answers. No, maybe some of you could share. No,
Mm-hmm.
the order of your preference based on those animals that were mentioned in the first activity. Okay.
Okay, yes.
Cow signifies career. All right.
Mm-hmm.
How signifies career. If your first priority, number one preference is that of a cow, maybe your priority, your first or your most prioritized aspect of your life is that of your career. All
Mm-hmm.
right. Okay. Next is tiger signifies pride.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. Let us
Wow.
maybe some of you could share your answers there. No. All right. Sheep signifies love.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, how about you, Miss Dawn? May I ask?
So far, you have not called my first animal
First,
yet.
okay, okay.
Yes, not yet.
Pork signifies family, and lastly, pig
Mm-hmm.
signifies money. How about you, Miss Dawn?
Oh, so I am a money person, Doc.
Okay, so your number one, your number one choice, your first choice is really the pig, no? With
Yeah.
regard to your arrangement, the pig.
Yep.
Maybe
Mm-hmm.
some of you, your I don't know, your arrangement would be your first priority will be that of a horse, second
Mm-hmm.
maybe sheep or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And we would like to encourage our or ask our participants to also share their answer in this activity in the comment section, because Doc RJ would love to know what did you write down in your activity
Maybe we
number
could ask
1.
their first choice, Miss
Yes.
Dawn. Okay,
Yes. Can you comment your
Judy.
first choice,
Wow.
animal of choice?
Judy mentioned, Miss Donna, love, family, pride, career, and money. So maybe the first choice of Judy is, of course, a ship. Okay.
Doc, your student, Miss Avelin, is also joining, and she shared family, career, love, pride, and money.
Wow. Okay. Wow. So interesting. Yeah, maybe that's an eye opener, no, Miss Donna, with regard to
Mm-hmm.
how we reflect on our priorities in life.
Yeah, this is such a big activity because it reveals our priorities.
Yeah, yeah. All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay. Shall we proceed to our second activity? Okay. All right. No? I think some of the participants, though they are not commenting, I think they are doing their task man, no?
Yeah.
Wherever they are.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing your answers in the comment section. Thank you. Okay. Next, for activity
Mm-hmm.
number two. This is more interesting, Miss Dawn.
Yes.
Activity number two is more interesting compared to activity number one.
Wow.
Okay, let us see. Let us see. For activity number two, no, your description, okay, your description of a dog implies your own personality. Di ba, the instruction is, or the instruction was to describe, no, in one word, the following items being mentioned in the second activity. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So your description of a dog implies your own personality. Okay?
Oh,
Anyone who wish to share their answer in the
answer.
comment section, maybe some would answer maybe friendly, or maybe
Mm-hmm.
some would answer loyal. No? Okay. May we know the answer of our participants? Please comment
Yes.
in the comment section.
Yep. When you heard the name
How about you? How
dog,
about you, Miss Dawn?
what did you write? For me, Doc, I wrote here for dog, stress reliever. Because for
Wala ka na
me, like,
math instruction, Miss Dawn. Anyway, no,
yes,
just
the
joking,
first
just
word that
joking.
comes to my mind.
Yeah, just joking. Because the instruction there is only one word. Anyway, of course,
Mm.
no, that's correct. That's correct, Miss
Stress,
Dawn. Stress
the first word.
reliever. Okay, fears, no?
Mm-hmm.
Judy Ann answered the fears. Wow, of
Mm-hmm.
course, though. That's their own description of the dog. Because again, our own description of each of the items being mentioned there are, of course, subjective naman. So others would answer different
Mm-hmm.
would give different description from the others. Okay,
Yep. We have,
lovable. Okay,
yes.
cute. Okay, all right, fierce. Okay,
We
yes, Miss
also
Dawn.
had response here for dog, loyal, and another one said kind. Yeah.
All right. Next would be your description of cat implies the personality of your partner. Okay, in any case, of course, now
Mm-hmm.
you have a partner, now maybe a spouse, no, maybe a girlfriend or a boyfriend, no, partner in life. But of course,
Wow.
again, it depends on your definition of what a partner is. All right. So, of course, your description of cat implies the personality of your partner. Okay, small. Okay,
Siri says small. Okay.
small. How about you, Miss Don?
Miss Avelin, your student doc in DPA said
Yes.
answered noisy.
Hi, si Miss Avelin. Naran si Miss
Yeah.
Avelin. Galing. Hindi ko nakita.
Yes.
Hi, Miss
She said
Abs.
she's joining. Yeah.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Miss Abs. I don't know, Miss Abs, if we have done this activity in our class. Anyway, no? Yeah.
She's
Okay.
really having fun participating in the activity. Another answer from Miss Sally, she said scary.
All right. Scary, of course, no? Uh, cute. Cute, small, all right? Lovable. Dream ko na balaan bala, Miss Do, no? Kung sino ang mga cat lovers, no? dog
Mm-hmm.
lovers versus dog
Yeah.
lovers, no? Because some of the dog lovers would have a an opposite description of
The
a cat,
cat.
no? And of course, no,
Mm-hmm.
vis-a-vis description naman sang cat lover sa dog. But of
Yeah.
course, there are
Mm-hmm.
people naman na both love cats and dogs.
Mm-hmm.
All
Yes.
right? No, Miss
Yeah.
No, kasadya sa ato, no, kasi activity, bilong nga hapon.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, no, anyway,
Okay, we
sweet.
still have another answer here from VRG. She said, yeah, she responded, sweet.
All right, very good. Okay, next. Okay, let us see. Your description of rat implies the personality of your enemies. Okay, let us hear from our participants, or maybe you could share your answer. What's your description of a rat?
Okay.
Okay, your description of rat implies the personality of your enemies. Pass,
Okay.
no pass, no, according to
Siri is really very fast as well in typing her answers.
annoying, annoying.
That's from Judy Ann.
Okay, pest, no, from Julia. Pest, no. How about you, Miss Dawn? What's your description of a
For
rat?
for me, my description is scavenger. Like literally, a rat is a scavenger. And okay, there's another fun answer here from
Disaster.
disaster. Yes,
Yeah,
Miss.
I really
Yeah,
enjoy reading the answers of
Miss
your.
Avelin said dirty, and Miss Sally said shameless.
Yeah,
Yes,
okay.
yeah.
Hindi ko
Mm-hmm.
makita ang answer ni Miss Abs.
Gina-chat nila sa akon, Doc.
Okay, okay. They're not commenting on because those who are or those who can comment lang ang aaari sa StreamYard, or they can comment also.
They can comment as well if
Ang na
they're
PM
joining
nilsin
through,
niyo na
yes,
PM.
if they're
Okay,
joining
okay.
through Facebook, yeah, they
Uh,
could also
all
comment.
right. Annoying, annoying. Okay, so let us proceed. Okay, the next is copy. Your description of copy is how you interpret sex, no?
Mhm.
Kasadya. All right. So, your description of copy is how you interpret sex. Okay. Any answers? Tasty.
Oh, very fast. You just use Siri
Tasty. Of
to
course. So maybe some of
respond.
you would answer hot.
Thank
No, hot.
thank you, Siri.
Black.
Okay.
Wow.
Blah. Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Very, very interesting. Very interesting. Live. Oh, wow. No. Live.
Coffee is
Coffee
life.
is live.
Okay, na
Wow.
napakadlaw
Yeah.
naman si Siri.
Of course. Of course. No.
Mhm.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, Steffi also said, okay, Virgie says, bitter.
Yeah, of course, no, stress reliever, bittersweet, of course. Okay, life, all right. Okay, okay. Okay, very
Losing
interesting,
weight.
very interesting. Okay, okay.
Mhm.
All right, so our next would be that of a C, no? So your description of C implies your own life. So how did you describe C in one word? Okay.
Hmm.
All right. How about you, Miss Dawn? What's your
For
description
me,
of C?
yeah, C for me is relax. That's the word for me. Relax.
Relax. Yes.
Yeah.
Deep. No. Some of the answers
Mm.
here are deep, calm,
Mm.
salty. All right. Relax. No. Of course. No. Relax. No. We see a theme. No. Relax and
Wow.
calm is the recurring theme
Sana, yeah.
of description. Okay, refreshing.
Calm. Yes,
Right.
Arlene. Yes, calm.
All right. Okay. Peaceful, calm. All right. See, Miss Ebbs. Her description is already a sentence description. Anyway, no, anyway, that's good. That's good, Miss Ebbs. No,
Mm-hmm.
relax. All right. Thank you so much for your answers. No, and of course, to those who
Yeah.
shared the answers in the chat box. All
Mm-hmm.
right.
Thank
So let
you
us
to
proceed to
our
the next
participants.
activity. Activity number three. Okay, let us see what activity number three implies. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So yellow is someone you will never forget. So the
Mm-hmm.
instruction is, di ba? Try to name a person that knows you. You know a person that you know and knows you as well,
Mm-hmm.
and associate that person to the different colors being mentioned in the activity. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So yellow is someone you will never forget. No? So maybe you can, if you're going to share your answer, you could, no, you could share nilang a yellow, my sister or my best
Yeah.
friend, something like that. No?
Mm-hmm.
You
Their
don't,
relationship with that
yeah,
person.
you don't
Right.
need to really name the, no,
Mm-hmm.
no, the person. All right.
Yes.
Mother. Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yep. With
Okay,
your
no,
mom.
very interesting. No? I really like this activity, Miss
Another
Dawn.
answer is mother.
Okay. Mother, colleague, of course. Yes, very good. Father, some answered
Mm-hmm.
father. Okay, father, partner, no? May ara
Yeah.
man nag-answer nga
Mm-hmm.
partner. Okay, maybe a spouse. Okay, mom and brother. Okay, very good, very good. All
Mm-hmm.
right, let us proceed to the next. Okay, orange. Can you read that? Though hindi may basahan, Miss Dono, but anyway, orange. Orange is someone you consider your true friend.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, against
Oh.
answers, no? Best friend, of course, no? Si Rino is very active in answering our
Very fast. Wala si
so
Siri. Thank you,
best friend.
Siri.
Yeah, wow. No, it seems, yeah, si Rino, it seems that
Mm-hmm.
your answer, no, doon nag-coincide man sa,
Mm-hmm.
ano, sa definition,
Question.
association sa color nato, no?
That's
Someone you considered as your true friend. Okay, your
mm-hmm.
best friend, mother, grandmother, or grandmother, no? Mother. All
Mm-hmm.
right. How about you, Miss Dawn?
I answered my sister too.
Sister.
'Di ba?
Wow.
Oo,
Of course,
yes.
of course, of
Kaya 'di
course.
ba, orange, sweet sister. Yeah.
All right. So next is
Mhm.
red. Someone that you really love. No, but of course,
Mhm.
na later on, they would ask what kind of love, no, Miss Dawn?
Yes,
Maybe
what
the
kind of
romantic
love?
love,
Yeah.
brotherly or sisterly love. But of course,
Mhm.
just your depends on your interpretation of love. But red is someone that you really love.
Yeah.
My son, of course, son, best friend. Okay.
Mhm.
How about you, Miss Dawn?
Tani kung kabalo man ko dok na had I know tani sulat ko din akon nga ano crush.
I did. Wow.
Hanggang crush lang.
Yeah,
It's my dad. My answer is my dad.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good, no? Of course. Lover, grandmother.
Mhm.
Okay, no, si Miss Ebso. All right, let us proceed. Let us proceed.
My partner.
Okay,
Mhm.
next. White. White is your twin soul. But of course,
Oh.
no, with regard to
Mm.
twin soul, no, it does not necessarily mean that your twin soul is your spouse, no. Maybe
Mhm.
it's a sibling, okay.
Mhm.
Maybe it's a colleague, no, something like that. All right.
Is it similar to a soulmate like that, Doc?
Yeah, yeah, yes,
Mm.
Miss Dono, closely. I think that's what this particular twin soul
Mhm.
means, no? A soulmate.
Nice. Your
Okay.
soulmate.
What's your answer, Miss Don?
I answered my mom. I just answered my family members because they are the first
Yeah,
people
yeah.
that come to my mind.
Of course, no.
It's
In essence, that is supposed to be naman, no, that's why we mentioned that you don't need to overthink or
mm-hmm,
overanalyze your answer because it really defeats the
mm-hmm.
purpose of revealing the unconscious aspect.
Yeah, and
All
maybe
right.
it also reflects the people who you trust. Your
Yes,
trusted
yes,
people.
yes.
No, your
Of course, no. Of
yeah.
course, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Because basically, this particular group of people are really the ones in your circle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. The
Okay.
one you confide your problems
Yes,
into
yes.
or any
Okay.
concerns. Yeah.
Yes. Spouse, mother. Okay, that's good. Very nice. Very nice. Okay. And lastly, green. Someone that you will remember for the rest of your life. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
maybe. Not necessarily a person that is very, very, very close to you, no, but of course, no,
Mm.
has a great impact in your life.
Oh.
A person that
Mm-hmm.
you cannot really forget, no, for the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, okay, some answers. All right. They're still answering color white.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, of course. How about green?
For
Ang imong
green,
answer, Miss Don?
for green, my office mate who loves color green.
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
Of course, no, because the imposing color of the, let's say, I think it's color green.
Yes,
So you,
it
you
is.
can you may
Yeah.
associate that to your
Mm.
colleagues. Maybe, no, but I don't know the real reason.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, brother, grandmother, aunt, sister, of course, the grandmother.
Yep.
Okay, all right. Okay,
Or
thank you
Steffi
so much.
answered. There's an answer from Steffi, Doc.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. It could be someone.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, so thank you so much for actively participating in our warm up activities. Actually, this is I think I don't know if it is still okay lang, Miss Don, if you still have time because amo na lang may ang next kong may
Mm-hmm.
arat ako next activity but something to do with introspecting about your your the different aspect of your present life now.
Okay.
Anyway, we have 2 hours man, Miss Don. No?
Yes, yes, we have 2 hours,
Anyway,
Doc.
okay,
So
okay, all right.
this is also very fun and very interactive. So our audience
Yes,
are no, it shows that they are also having fun.
yes. Very good, very good. So thank you so much for actively participating
Mm-hmm.
in our warm-up activities, okay, for our 3 activities. Okay, no, at least no, it's an eye opener, no. In any case that we have some realizations made, no, on these activities. Though ano na siya, though ang pakampang siya, but of course, there are some realizations, no, that these
Mm-hmm.
activities na reveal man sa mga isang aton ng mga answers. All
Mm-hmm.
right. So thank you so much for participating this activity. Now we have our first, second, and third activity. Okay, so the next would be a little more serious now with regard to uh, how are you feeling today. Okay, this is very important, especially if we are to talk about the aspect of our mental health. On the aspect of our mental health, it's very important to introspect on how are you feeling today. Okay, so, how are you feeling today? So you can maybe you could share your answer on the comment box. Are you sad, disgusted, excited, no, grumpy, tired, no, happy, hurt, proud, interested, scared, shocked, shy, angry, confused, embarrassed? So how are you feeling today, dear participants? I hope you're all feeling well. Okay, I hope that you're all doing well, especially if you are in your respective places, in your respective homes. No, listening to this webinar. I hope you're all doing well. Okay, happy, sleepy. Okay, that's good. Interested, interested. Very good, very good. Okay, happy, no? Yeah. So I really love reading all your comments. It only implies that all of you are really paying attention to our webinar this afternoon. Okay, thank you. So, in introspecting about how we feel today, okay, there are also things that considering all the considering what we feel today, no, it's a contributing. There are contributing factors in how we feel today, no, especially that our lives are divided, no, into different factors. Okay, we have our personal life, we have our personal professional life. Okay, we have our career. Okay, and everything. All right. So let us try to look into the different aspects of your life and how are you satisfied with regard to that particular aspect of your life. Okay, let us see. A quick survey, just a quick survey, no? You can answer letter A, letter B, or letter C. Let's say, for example, letter A is maybe you're quite dissatisfied. B, neither satisfied nor dissatisfied. And letter C, very happy or very satisfied. Okay? Just a quick survey. No? You can type your answer there. No? You can just type the letter of your choice. Okay? Your career. Okay? How satisfied are you with your career? Okay? All right. See, Miss MJ answered letter B. Okay? So, no? Hindi man dissatisfied, hindi man that very, very happy. Okay, okay lang. Okay? All right. C, very happy. B, okay, do can neutral. All right. Letter B, letter C. Okay? Okay, some answered letter A. Okay, of course, no. I think Miss Dawn could talk to the person, or maybe could personally ask the person if you know Miss Dawn man. No? Maybe you could confide to Miss Dawn. You can tell Miss Dawn, or maybe share, no, and Miss Dawn could do some counseling. No? If you wish to share your thoughts, no, with regard to why you are not that happy, no, not that happy in your life, or particularly in your career. Okay. Thank you so much for your answers. No, most answered B. Okay, some answered C and some answered letter A. All right, thank you so much. Okay, next, home and family. Okay, it's okay. It's okay if you don't wish to share your answer in the comment box. But of course, no, you have you have an option, no, on not choosing to share your answer in the comment box. All right. C. Okay, very good. Okay. B, C. No, that's good. That's good. No, yeah, it's very, that's very important, especially during this time of pandemic. No, that we, especially those times pala going 2 years ago, especially sa community quarantine kita, and it really helps us overcome the feeling of loneliness and isolation in our respective homes, no, because of our home and family. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for all your answers. No, most answered B, and some also answered letter C. All right. Thank you so much. Okay. Next, how about your personal growth? Now, let us try to reflect on our personal growth. Are you growing as a person now? No, with regard to maybe your career, the choice of maybe with regard to the choice of your I want to for your personal choice on maybe choosing a career. No, maybe if some of you are are in college, no, with regard to personal growth, do the program or the course that you have chosen is really what you really wanted, no, something like that, and you see yourself growing with regard to your career, developing your skills, developing your competencies. Okay, so yeah, sometimes, no, okay, letter A, no, of course, letter B, letter C. Okay, some diverse, no, diverse answers. No, you can see diverse answers here. All right. Okay. So thank you so much. Next, no, how about your hobbies and creativity? Okay. Okay. Especially in the times of pandemic, no, some of us were I don't know, with regard to some of our hobbies, really, no, we were restricted. Our movement is restricted. That's why we cannot really fully utilize, no, the things that we really love to do prior to the pandemic. But because of the pandemic, no, let's say, for example, if you love traveling, for example, you were not able to travel because of course of the restrictions, no? For example, if you love watching movies in the cinema, of course, no, subo may ara na nagbalik ng mga movies sa cinema, but maybe in the context of a year ago, no, if you love watching movies, okay, you cannot do your the things that you really love doing, especially on your hobbies, because we are restricted. Our movements are restricted. Okay. All right. Creativity. Some answered B, some answered letter C. Okay. No, yeah, that's good. That despite of this pandemic, you can still do the things that you love doing. Okay, that's good. All right. How about your life purpose and vision? Okay, your life purpose and vision. Okay. Maybe again, no, just like I mentioned with regard to your career, no, if you are into certain things that you really love doing, and that this is what you really envision for yourself. Okay, I think you will be very satisfied, no. And of course, no, you are with regard to your personal growth, no, you are doing the things that you love doing. Okay, and of course, no, you are your no, no, your life purpose is quite clear, no. Let's say, for example, with regard to foresighting, no, or looking forward, maybe 5 to 10 years from now, where do you see yourself? Okay, you can clearly see yourself, no, that's what we mean by having a vision in life. All right, some answered A, some answered B, but of course always remember, dear participants, so always remember that again, you always stick with the goal, stick with the goal, just like what they said, no. uh, Always hold the vision, but of course, no, always trust the process. And in this process, there will be some disappointments, but the most important thing is we hold on to our vision and to our goals. All right. How about relationships? No, relationships, maybe family relationships, romantic relationships, no. Okay. So how satisfied are you with regard to your relationships? Okay. A, all right. A, no, some answered A, no, not that happy, no, or not happy at all. All right. Okay. Some C, oh, that's good. That's good. Okay. Okay. So some answered B. Okay. Some answered C. All right. Okay. But at least, no, we have some realizations on the present, no, the present states, no, the present states of our life, no, with regard to these different aspects, no. All right, see Ebs, no, C, no, crazy in love. That's very good. I'm happy for you, Ebs, no. All right, okay, okay. Next is on spirituality. Spirituality. Okay, how satisfied are you with regard to your spirituality? Okay, of course, no. We always anchored everything that we do on a supreme being, especially on overcoming the pandemic, no, and all life's difficulties. No, we're very blessed, no, to have that faith, no, faith on a supreme being. Okay, all right. Okay, B, some answered C. Okay, some answered A. All right. No, so we'll try to reflect on that. Maybe try to look for the reasons, no, behind. Okay, that's why it's very important to look for the areas in which we are satisfied or maybe not that happy, so that we could make some adjustments, no, especially on the things that uh, or the areas that needs to be improved. All right. So next, how about money? Okay. How about money? No, I'm expecting that many would answer letter A and letter B. Okay. Okay, B, no? Wow. Okay lang, no? Mabakal ko man ang gusto ko, no? Something like that. Okay. Letter A, letter A. Okay, letter B. Oh, all right, all right. So how about the others? What's your answer? Letter B. Okay. All right. Letter A. Okay. Yeah, no, really, money, no, money, really, yan mo na, no, uh, some, no, some are not really that happy with regard to this aspect on life now. Maybe your salary is cannot really compensate, no, on especially on the rising prices of all the commodities, no, especially that the ano the fuel, grabe nagkataas ang fuel and everything follows kung ano na kung fuel na magtaas. Okay? Okay, thank you so much. How about health and well-being? Okay? So this is now when we were talking about na ano na siya na, no? The overall health, no? And well-being, no? So if we're talking about health and well-being, it involves our mental health. Okay, it involves our physical health. Okay, so how about your health and well-being? All right, now so it's good to see letter C's. Okay, that's it's good to see letter C's. All right. Okay, all right. Letter B, letter C. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your answers. Okay. So with that, no, especially on the things that we have discussed, okay, particularly on the health and well-being. Okay, remember this. Remember this. In a growing world where technology has become a necessary source of communication, special attention must be placed on the potential hazards of social media to physical and mental health. That's why we asked this particular survey, a quick survey, to see your health and well-being, because it will have later on. No, we will talk about the implications, no, of social media on our mental health, not only mental health, but of course your overall health. Right? So it's a fact that technology really opened lots of opportunities, particularly on the things advantageous to humans. No, technology, particularly computers and social media, had bridged the gap. No, especially on the distance, no, between family members, friends. Okay, so una, if you have a family member or friend, for example, in the other side of the world, okay, so it's very costly, no, to communicate with your loved ones and friends. But now, no, it seems that the social media and the technology had bridged those particular gaps, particularly on the distances between the families, friends, and loved ones, and among others, that those are some of the advantages. And later on, we'll discuss further other advantages, and we'll focus on the disadvantages, particularly and how uh, social media influence or affects the mental health of the teenagers or the youth. Okay, so the objectives of this webinar is first to provide an overview of social media use among youth. So we'll be presenting to you different statistics later on. To be specific, no, the statistics on the Philippines, no, taken from the data last February 2022. Okay. Also, to address common concerns about the negative impact of social media on mental health. We made mention about the advantages, but of course, no, let us not forget that on the advantages, no, there are also disadvantages, no, presented by the social media, and sometimes these advantages outweighs those advantages, no, mentioned earlier, the advantages of social media. Okay, and lastly, to provide strategies on overcoming the adverse effects of social media to one's health and specifically to one's mental health. All right. So this is social media. Are you familiar with this particular what do you call this, logo? No logo. Okay. Oh, yeah. We all know naman, no, kung ano ni siya mga different logos, no? Okay, we have the Facebook there, we have the Twitter, we have the Instagram, the Pinterest, YouTube, Tumblr. Okay, so this is social media. So before we talk about how social media impacts or influence mental health, first, no, let us know what is social media. Okay, so social media is basically, no, an online platform. Okay, so it is an online platform, of course, internet, no, because talking about online, no, we always talk about internet. An online platform used to release personal and informative content. Okay, meaning social media use one's personal information and some informative content, no, maybe in the form of news. Okay, so and other contents. Okay, so social media and technology in general has evolved throughout the years and dramatically changing the way we communicate. Okay, we mentioned, no, a little earlier with regard to one of the advantages of social media, that sa una daw ka basic lang ang social media, daw the features is not that complicated, no, daw ka rudimentary lang sa una si social media. What you can do is you can message lang, you can chat, no, but as years go by, no, you can see that social media, particularly on how social media utilize algorithms, no, algorithms in the way they present their ads, no. That's why sa una, sang early pang, for example, ng Facebook, na daw hindi muna kadamo ang ads, but subong if you watch a video na nga damo na nga ads, tapos once nga nag for example nga nag-scroll ka, gamay mo lang nga stop, no, because pag scroll nimo, for example, nag-stop pa lang gamay, meaning you are interested, quite interested, or and though something nga ang post nag-catch imo attention, dugay-dugay, or maybe the next time you check your Facebook, all the contents are related to that particular post na. No, because again, the social medias na utilize algorithms. That's how complicated social media, no, sa subong, no, that's how social media has evolved, no, and it makes use of algorithms to see the areas where you are interested, where you like, or maybe love, or the things that really catch your attention. And that's how complicated social media now. And of course, no, it makes use data analytics and algorithms. Okay, so although it may have its perks, no, its advantages, okay, such as providing opinions to be heard, no, there are also negative impacts that affect our daily lives, no. And later on we will learn what are those adverse effects of social media. Okay, particularly in this modern world of technology, no. It seems that we are already confined in a small place. No, the world is already confined in a small place, that anyone, anywhere in the world, no, anywhere in the world, you could communicate. No, and that is why, with regard to its negative effects, no, so many issues arise with regard to issues on privacy, issues on bullying, issues on adverse effects on mental health, and of course, no, and other adverse effects that will be properly discussed. Okay, so a little backgrounder on the uh, essential, no, digital headlines, specifically in our country, the Philippines. No, this data was from Kipius, no, Kipius, an online consultancy group, no, a research company, from the data taken from I think it's October, it's February 2022. So basically, it's an updated statistics and data coming from KPUs. No, also uh, talking about the data. Now we also make use of the GWI, the Global Web Index. No, if you can see there, Philippines already have 111.8 million people. No, that's the population of the Philippines, no? And 48% lives in an urban environment. Okay. With regard to the cellular mobile connections in the Philippines, there are 156.5 registered phones, no, or cellular phones. Nga adamo siya because there are Filipinos that has more than one cellular phone. May ara ya tahong may duwa ka cellphone, or maybe there are people nga may tatlo ka cellphones. Okay? And in the Philippines, we have 76 million Filipinos who are internet users. Okay, online literates. Okay, meaning that they can utilize and manipulate internet with ease. And of course, with regard to social media users, you can see that 82.4% of Filipinos are active in social media. That accounts, no, that accounts to 92.05 million Filipinos who are active in social media. Meaning, mga 92 million ka Filipinos ang may Facebook, no, and other social media platforms. Okay? So again, no, total internet users in the Philippines, there are 76 million, okay, Filipinos. Okay, and that accounts for 68% of the total population. No, out of the 111 million, we have 68% of that are internet users. Okay, and with regard to the increase of people who are using the internet, comparing the data last year, we have an increase of 2.8%. That accounts to an increase of 2.1 million Filipinos who are into internet. Sa una, may nagduga nga 2.8 at 2.1 million Filipinos nga into internet. And also, try to look at this, no? This is very significant data. Okay? You know that Filipinos on the average, Filipinos not merely using the Facebook, but using the internet, no, as a whole. Maybe checking your email, scrolling on TikTok, scrolling on Google, scrolling in FB. On the average, Filipinos spent 10 hours and 27 minutes sa internet. Okay? So try to look at that data, no? Ang average daily internet use ng Filipino is 10 hours and 27 minutes, no? Meaning some would go higher, maybe some would go as far as 16 hours per day, or maybe 18 hours per day, no? So on the average, no, our Filipinos are into internet, no, 10 hours 27 minutes. Okay, and percentage of users accessing the internet via cell phones or mobile phones, that is accounted to 97.2, because basically it's cell phones are less expensive. Okay, mobile, no, you can bring your cell phone anywhere, no, and of course, no, some would use laptops, no, some would use desktop, but the majority of the Filipinos in accessing the internet, they utilize cell phones or mobile phones. Okay. Another data, this is very relevant, no? If you're going to look into the data coming from the data taken from January 2012 and the data 10 years after, that is January 2022. However, I would like you to look at the data between January 2019, January 2020, and January 2021 and January 2022. If you're going to look at this data, there's a really a significant increase, no, of those Filipinos that are into internet, especially with regard to January 2020 and January 2021 data, because as you can see, there's 6.1%. So maybe one of the reasons, because during the pandemic, we were isolated because of the community quarantines, okay? And Filipino, no, of course, no, limited ang movement, wala mayo obra, even those people na hesitant gamit sa internet, no, maybe some people in the older age group, because ang ilab na rason sa unang kutuduan sila, natakana sila magtuon, nagano sila, gulpi lang na naging gin-indulge nilang kagulingon nila nga mag-learn sa internet because of that isolation, no? Isolation coming from the quarantine. That's why there is an increased number of Filipinos who are using internet. We're going to see the data during the advent of COVID-19 pandemic. All right? So another data, again, no, seeing the data, I mentioned this earlier, that on the average, Filipinos, okay, spent their time in the internet, no, on the average 10 hours and 27 minutes daily, no, amuna, no, that's the number of hours we spent on the internet, okay. Using mobile phones, on the average 5 hours. Those are using the internet, utilizing computers, maybe laptops and tablets, no, 4 hours at a time ang average. And mobiles share of the total daily internet time, no, that's 55.4%. Okay, so the main reason why Filipinos are using the internet, no, survey taken from again, no, the Global Web Index, okay, internet users age 16 to 64 years old, okay. The main reason why Filipinos are using the internet is first, no, the number one reason is really finding information, okay, looking for information, no, googling for information, okay. Next is staying in touch with friends and family, okay, especially during the COVID-19, no, ang ano pala, the early period, no, sang COVID-19, especially sang community quarantine pata sa mo nga time, okay, stay in touch with families and friends because hindi kita kagwa, movements are restricted, okay, that's why we make use of the internet to keep in touch with our friends and families, okay. Researching, okay. Next is watching videos, okay, finding new ideas and inspirations, okay. Of course, no, very important as well is following news and current events. Again, on the things now happening around us, particularly with regard to the COVID-19, okay, the data, the statistics, okay, education and study, listening to music, okay, researching brands. All right, spare time, filling up spare time, gaming, okay, business research, meeting new people, and researching places and travel. This is the main reasons why Filipinos are into internet. Okay, another data, device use. No, you can see there we have discussed this that 97.2% of Filipinos accessing internet utilize mobile phones. Okay. Okay. Also, this data from the KIPIUS, no, from KIPIUS, and also taken from the Global Web Index, also showed the most visited websites, no, by the Filipinos, no, published in February 2022. But this data was taken from the website traffic last November 2021. Anyway, it's updated man gyapon ang data naton because 6 months from lang aton data naglapse. All right. So the most frequently visited site is Google. no? Followed by Facebook. Okay, there are almost 500 million visits sa Facebook, sa Google, 176 million visits sa Facebook. YouTube also is 164 million, and also Shopee is quite famous among Filipinos. Okay, but of course, try to look at this, no? Those in the sixth and seventh spot, no? This is a pornographic website. Okay, Filipinos are the number one visitor of Pornhub. Okay, and among all the websites that Filipinos are visiting, no, number six and number seven on the list are pornographic website. Okay, no, and we will try to look into later on, no, the adverse effects of those aspect of this data, no, because looking into this data, you can see already the trend on how Filipinos, no, utilize their time, no, on the internet, particularly with regard to the website they frequently visit. Okay. All right. So just an overview of social media use. We talk about the internet, no, in the previous slides, no. Let us talk about the social media use of Filipinos. Okay. Again, as mentioned in the summary of the report, 92.05% of million, or million, I mean, not percent, 92.05 million of Filipinos, no, are into social media. So may mga Facebook and other social media account. Okay? So if you're going to look into this, that's quite a high percentage, because again, the total population of the Philippines, no, as presented in the data on February 2022, is around 111 million. And 92.05 million Filipinos are into social media, meaning most of the Filipinos have social media account. All right, that's why if you're going to look into the statistics later, in the as presented by the different agencies such as Global Web Index, no, you can see that one of the top most users, social media users in the world, not only in the Philippines but in the world, no, in the world, Filipinos really are in the top. Okay, so there is an increase. If you to compare the data last year and this year, there is an increase of 3.1 millions Filipinos, no, nga nagdugang ang ilang social media account. That's why I made mention about, because of this pandemic, restricting our movement, isolation, no, even in the older age group who are at first hesitant to try social media platforms, subong naaara na sila sa social media platforms, no, because of the aspect of wanting to communicate and stay in touch with their family members and friends. Okay, so una tiyan mo na, so una kung layuanay na kamo, ang tendency kung hindi magpuli ang imong mga friend, no, maybe if you are in the older age group, dugay-dugay na kamo way nagkitaay, no, kung hindi magpuli ang imong mga kilala or friendly mo, basically hindi ka mo mag-istoryanay. But subong ya, bisan na dugay-dugay na kamo way nagkitaay, you just want to search the name of your friend, no, your long lost friend, no, maybe you could see your long lost friend, no, sa Facebook, and you can add your friend, and you can again, no, communicate with your friend, no. So that's one of the advantages of social media. Okay, so daily time spent of Filipinos on social media, that's 4 hours, no. There are also with regard to our report kagina, 10 hours ang na-spend sa Filipinos on the average internet, but on social media that's 4 hours. Okay, so again, ano pa nga ito nga mga relevant day. Okay, so the total number of Filipinos with regard to the percentage, 82.4% of Filipinos are into social media. Okay, and social media users versus population nga in the age group nga 13 plus. Okay, that's 110.2%. All right, no, and 53.6% of Filipinos that are in social media are females, and 46.4% are male. Okay, amo na no. amo to ginano ko kagina no with regards sa internet, but if you're going to look into the data between again no, just want to reiterate no, between January 2020 and January 2021 no, amon siya pinakadako nga increase since no 2012 no, 21.9% ang increase of social media users no, because of, again, we all know the reason no, the pandemic no, because of the limitations in the movement and restriction in the movement. Filipinos ought to have a social media account so that they could communicate with their loved ones and friends. Okay. Little statistics na lang, gamay na lang gid para at least makita nato ng overview sang how Filipinos no the psychology of Filipino social media users. Okay? You can see there ang bulk gid sang users naton sa social media are from the age range nga 18 to 24 kag 25 to 34. But you can see naman no, sa una mo tusig naton very low gini ang 65 and up na age group no, but subong you can see that though damo na no ang sa amo ning age group ang enroll no sa social media, again with all those reasons that we mentioned. Okay, again no, keeping in touch with the family is really the main reason why Filipinos are into social media. Okay, Facebook is the main social media platform being utilized by Filipinos. Okay, so I think no, I'm done with presenting to you no the statistics on how Filipinos utilize internet and social media. Okay, so given all the aspects of the social media and internet as a whole, with regard to the advantages and disadvantages, we made mention that again the disadvantages usually outweighs the advantages of social media. So that's why it's very important to look into the impact or association of social media use on the mental health, because this is now the pressing issue of especially with regard to the youth and teenage youth and teenagers with regard to the mental health, because again we have seen in many reports and statistics that there is an increased number of cases on depression, people manifesting anxiety disorders, and people manifesting stress disorders, no? And of course, sad to note as well that many also, as reported, and of course there are unreported, but of course, again, we must take into considerations those things that there are many reported cases of suicide as well. That's why it's very important to look into the association of social media use among Filipino youth and on their mental health. So what is mental health, by the way? No, we talked earlier about health, no, and we also mentioned that there is no health without mental health, because the word health is encompassing, meaning it involves the physical health and it also involves the mental health. Because sometimes, you cannot really consider yourself as a person, a healthy person, bisan physically okay ka, but of course with regard to your mental health you're not okay, no. So that's why again, with regard to the overall health, you're still not okay. So that's why you really need to balance everything. You should have a sound mind and sound body. So let us try to look into what is mental health really. Okay, so mental health is defined as state of content in which an individual realizes their own potential. Okay, so it includes our emotional, okay, psychological and social well-being, affecting how we think, we feel, as well as act. Okay, so also with regard to mental health, we must also talk about how someone, or a person, cope with the normal stresses of life and is able to make a contribution to their community. So of course, now in this world, we are bombarded with life difficulties and problems, but the bottom line there is Those are normal stresses. Those are normal stresses. And with regard to the normal stresses, no, some could easily overcome normal stressful events in their life. But of course, there are people as well that other people would consider this as normal stress in life, but others are different. No, they consider it as very distressing. No, distress sila. Okay, and maybe in the concept of ano bala, no, suicide, no, in the concept of suicide, no, sometimes muna siling nila nga gin nga do ka gamay lang ano do ka gamay lang nga natabo and gamay lang sa tuod, but why the person committed suicide. But because again, if we're talking about the issue on suicide, no, the bottom line is suicide. No single event in life can cause suicide, and because again, suicide is the factor. There are different factors, maybe factors that has accumulated across the lifespan of the person, and maybe those the last, no, the last thing that contributed is maybe already the last straw, no? The last straw. That's why they call it in quotations with regard to counseling, the last straw that broke the camel's back. So again, no, we will talk all of this, no, especially in how social media would affect the mental health of the person. Okay, so abnormalities with regard to the mental health, no, can be classified as mental disorders, no, especially if the way we think, the way we feel, and the way we act already affects our lives, no, particularly with regard to our social life, professional life, and personal life. No, it now becomes a mental disorder. Okay, so the risk of developing mental disorders, no, there are a variety of conditions that affects moods, thought process, and behavior. Okay, sometimes it was known to be a combination of both the genetic, biological, psychological, and environmental factors. Okay, so usually, no, the most common known mental disorders are anxiety, depression, obsessive compulsive disorders, the post-traumatic stress disorder, and bipolar disorder. Okay, so how does social media negatively affect our mental health? Okay, number one, addiction. No, people are addicted to social media often experience eye strain, social withdrawal, or lack of sleep. Because let's say, for example, there are people, no, with regard to the extremes, bila, no, naman, on the aspect of the blue light, no, the blue light of our cellular phones, the blue light of our laptops, the blue light of our tablets or maybe desktops, no, can really cause eye strain, no, and it may hinder with our normal what we call circadian rhythm, no, with regard to our sleep. So sometimes tandaan ninyo, you can still remember going back 2 years ago during the community quarantine. Usually, no, daw wala tamayo ang aton gabla nga sleeping pattern daw na ano siya, daw nag-change kinang aton nga sleeping pattern because we are into cell phones, no, or the internet. Sometimes matulog na kita tag 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m. Okay, and of course if you sleep that late, no, basically ang imong magbugtaw kaya ang imong wake up cycle, no, so of course no, kung nag-sleep ka 4 a.m. in the morning, basically you will wake up around 12 noon or 12 p.m. in the or 1 p.m. in the afternoon, no. So basically your sleeping pattern, no, naguba na siya. So because of this, no, it presents, no, issues on people experiencing social withdrawal or the lack of sleep. Okay, also social media may cause stress, no. Stress may be caused by researching problems and arguing with people through online connections. So this is very evident as well. No, this is very evident. No, that during these times, no, paglapit na ng election, no, there are relationships, no, nga kakaguba because of maybe one person has different perspective because they choose one person, no, with regard to politics nila mo ning butuhon nila ang isa ka person na man butuhon nila, and sometimes they would argue, no, they would argue, and it would really cause stress because the sometimes, no, the arguing, no, it's nang ano na kita, no, nang below the belt bilang nga mga argument, no. So sometimes it no longer becomes objectives or constructive, but rather it's more of a destructive argument na. Okay, so sometimes it would also cause stress among teens, or maybe among those who are using social media. And of course, no, if you are in social media, we know naman that social media, one of the most evident issues on social media is with regard to the fake news. Okay, and in the fake news, no, sometimes we are presented with informations and news that are not credible, not reliable, and unverified information. And because of that, it also causes great stress, especially like going back sa 2 years ago, no, at the start of the pandemic, no, may mga gagwa nga, may mga fake news nga amuni, ambuto, no, and because of that erroneous information presented in social media, and hindi na natin makuha sa social media yung there are erroneous informations, no, tapos ikaw yati maano ka man, makulbaan ka man because of the information that you read, no, is fake. So that's why later on you would learn that in doing so, we must always verify the information that we consume. The information that we consume dapat verified siya, reliable information. Okay, and of course, no, doing that, dapat ang aton nga mga sources are also credible sources, so that as much as possible, no, we could always avoid fake news, because it also bring a great amount of stress among us. Okay, next is decreased self-esteem. Okay, decreased self-esteem because again, social media is a facade. Okay, social media is a facade, and in the social media, what you can usually see in social media are ideals. Okay, what we mean by ideals, for example, in social media, they present you what is an ideal body. Okay, dapat saksigid, matsyugid, something like that. And if in the social media, what is being projected in social media projects a concept of ideal. So dapat maamo man ko ni. That's why if you're going to look into your body image, for example, and you're going to compare nga amuni this is ang ako niya nga lawas yung do katambok-tambok ni ko tama, for example, no, or maybe kalaw ay gisapon, because again, what is being presented in social media are ideals, no. So comparing yourself to what is being presented in social media make you feel your worth, no, your self-worth, no. I am referring to self-esteem. Your self-worth, no, ga-decrease siya. Ang imong self-esteem ga-decrease because of that. So you are comparing yourself to what is being presented in social media. Okay, anxiety level also begins to increase, no, especially if you are fed with fake news, no, just like what I mentioned. Okay, disconnection from friends and family, because again, you are no longer interacting personally, no, dok ano na siya, no, dok amo na siling kung pasada lang siya, because though you are I don't know, communicating through chats, no, videos, no, or video call. Again, always remember that only feelings understand feelings, no. That's why lain gid ako may social connection kita. That's why studies said that people nowadays are less happy, no, compared to people maybe generations ago, because again, the social interaction is very strong sa wala pa ni ang mga social media. So that's why people decades ago, or the people, the previous generations are more happy compared today because of that lost social connection sang mga sang subong, no, sang subong nga generations. All right. Also, fear of missing out, no. For example, there are phenomenon, ang phenomenon na bilang dapat ma-post ko amo ni dapat kung mag-post ko damo-damo ko like, no, meaning kung damo like ko or damong hearts ko, it means that I am a social, there is a social affirmation. Kung no, due tayo nga kung mga likes, I feel bad. I feel bad. No, kung due tayo nga kung likes. But again, it's just a facade that is superficial. Superficial na kaya nga, in the end of the day, when you are into social media, you post something and there are hundreds of likes or thousands of likes. However, magsunod at tanay ka mo ang isang friends ni mo nga nag-like sa imong mga picture or maybe your post. Pagsukat anay ninyo sa hallway, no, hindi man ako makilala na, hindi man mo sa pakanay, no. So that is a superficial affirmation, no, with regard to social affirmation. But again, going back, there's no substitute to social interaction. That's why it really affects, no, greatly affects our mental health. Okay, and using the platform as a distraction to avoid or suppress unpleasant emotions, no. For example, there are people who are quite shy, no, but paglabot sa social media, lain ang ilang nga online facade, their online personality is different from the actual personality, no, because they are more confident in social media, but again, it presents a different it presents a great danger, especially on maybe realizing your real identity versus your identity in the social media platform. Okay, so some warning signs to tell if you are experiencing social media problem. Okay, we'll try to see kung ebidensya. Okay, you're addicted to your smartphones and constantly checking all social media platforms. That is a red flag. That is a sign, a warning sign. Okay, keeping connections online through social media statuses rather on the phone or in the person. Okay, so amo na siling ko, your online personality, maybe you have so many friends, but in fact in personally, no, way makamuga sa pakanay. All right, so checking social media first thing in the morning and right before you sleep at night, so that's also a red flag. Okay, feelings of panic when going hours without it, no, maybe ano nito nagatabo, may basi nag-message ito sa ako, nanunto ko na mo ang nag-like sa ako na social media naging post. Okay, getting upset if people don't like or comment on your updates, no, this is also a red flag. Okay, because ang mga siling na to, no, with regard to what we have mentioned earlier, no, that fear of missing out. So that's why as much as possible you get more likes in your post. Okay, and the less like you feel bad, no, kung tayo lang nag-like sa imong mga post or maybe a pictures or a post. All right, take a down post that don't draw a lot of reaction. Let's say for example you post something and ang nag-like sa imo daw pito lang katao, ang gin post nimo yang mga may isa ka gin post and hundreds like your post, tapos ang amo nga post you tayo lagi katama ang post, you remove that. Okay, so that's also a red flag. Okay, so again amo na sila ang some statistics, no. Okay, 88% of teens have seen someone be cruel to another person on a social media site. Okay, so that's one of the adverse effects of social media, because again, on social media, sa social media, no, you can be whatever you like. Okay, with regard to the facade or the personality that you are presenting. Okay, so those are very alarming informations. Okay, such as social media glamorizing drugs, no, alcohol use, and other harmful measurements. Okay. Also, social media often leads to multitasking, no? That's why while you are checking your phone on your Facebook, no, you are driving, no, and it leads to accidents. Okay, and lack of privacy, because maybe you are also sharing too much information, personal information in your social media. So you are posting your address, no, kabalo ng mga sindikato or scammers, no, kung din address nimo, you're posting your phone numbers and everything, and your privacy is already in great danger. All right. So cyber bullying is also evident in social media. Okay, as you can see naman, bullying is one of the issues concerning the negative or the adverse effect of social media. Okay, and sa mga post na bla, ranting, something like that, posting bad posts regarding another person. But of course, no, we have some laws naman that governs the safety of users. But of course, no, still evident. Okay? Isolation, amo na siling naton. Amo na wala, no? Sad to note, no? Even some in some families, no, wala nang istoryanay kay tubang na tanan sa cellphone, no? Even when people or family members are about to eat, no, of course they are looking into their cell phones and there is no social interaction, no, so it's very danger sa humans, no, because again humans, we are social animals and we need social interactions. Okay, again, fake news, the spreading of false information, which is very evident in social media, and these are the mental disorders linked to social media. Depression, okay, because of the failure to meet expectations, so people are experiencing depression. Okay, ADHD, so continuous distraction with platforms lead to the inability to focus on a single task. You can focus to because you're multitasking on your social media. Addiction, personality disorder, and also as I mentioned with regard to the ideal body image, no, as presented in social media, it also leads to anorexia. Okay, so the constant stream of body and food conscious posts may cause heightened levels of stress and anxiety, because again, we are presented in social media with a perfect body image. But again, the bottom line is, you try to love no, yourself, no, regardless of your body image, because in the end, no, in the end, again, with regard to our physical body, again, as we grow older, it will deteriorate, man. So it's very important that you start loving yourself, no, with regard to your body image. Okay. So, sleep deprivation, no, because of amo to ginang siling naton na the circadian rhythm, no, na galain na because of the social media use, no, too much use of social media. So we are a sleep deprived nation, and it is linked to different uh, physical illnesses, no, such as diabetes, no, stroke, high blood pressure, high heart disease, no, obesity, also poor mental health and early death because of those diseases. Okay. All right. Okay. 95% of individuals surveyed reported using electronics in the hour before they went to sleep, which is very detrimental in our sleeping patterns. No, because of, again, I mentioned about the blue light. No, if you are too exposed to blue light, no, so there it will cause eye strain and you will have difficulty sleeping. All right. So okay. Most people, especially in the age of 18 to 29, though, they sleep, no, nga ang phone aras tupad nila. All right. Okay. So ano muna? Okay. So some people don't put into silent mode their phones before going to bed. Okay, that's why also sleep, no, is affected. And why I pointed out sleep, because again, it's very important to take a good night's sleep, no, as because it is very beneficial in our mental health as well. Okay, take care of your mental health, no. How do we do that? So, what can be done? No, there are many ways to prevent the potential danger associated with social media. So, how do we do that? No, reach out. Again, I'm saying we are social animals, no, and only feelings understand feelings. No, it's now high time to go back to social interaction. No? Reach out. Substitute your social media time with activities, no, with family and friends who support and care about you in person. No, put down your phone, no, for a while. No, maybe if in kabudlay would like it siya, no, ano lang, compartmentalize, no? Compartmentalize, no? If you're spending 10 hours in the internet every day, try for the next week, no? Try to trim it down to 9 hours, no? For the next week, you might try to trim it down to 8 hours. Next week, 7 hours until such time that don't your social media, the time you spent in social media, no, trim down na lang siya sa pila na lang ka-hours. Okay? Set a firm boundary, limit how long you will spend online, okay, by compartmentalizing what you're going to do, no, especially kung kabudlay gid mag cut off na yon sang hours spent on the social media or internet, no, so matamat lang siya. Okay, be aware of how long you've been online and don't lose track of time. It's very important because if you are into social media, do amo na ba siling nito kadasig lang sang time, no, bilog adlaw do kadasig lang matapos, no. That's why mo na siling na siling lang naton nga kadasig-dasig sa chimpo subong because again wala ang tama ang aton nga social interaction lesser na nga aton nga social interaction. That's why amo na siling naton nga do kadasig lang katama sang inuras kag inadlaw subong. Try go back, no, to interacting with people, no, actual interaction, social interaction, no? And it seems that a day, no, do kalawig siya because of that, because we lose track of time. Okay, so unplug, take some time away from the internet as a whole to remove the temptation of logging into your favorite social media platforms, no. You really need to have that conviction that once in a while, no, you really need to stop uh, uh, using social media, or maybe you stop your Wi-Fi connection, your internet, no, para at least, no, you cannot access internet and eventually social media. And also, stay away from online content that looks dangerous, harmful, and or triggering, especially if you are manifesting anxious anxiety disorders, or maybe a stressful videos, though, that may cause you to manifest anxiety, fear, and stress. Okay, so I think, no, that's the end of my slide. Now, before I close my uh, or I finish my topic on the impact of social media on the teens' mental health. No, let me close this webinar by saying sometimes you gotta take a break from all, uh, and of course not take noise to appreciate the beauty of silence. No, so meaning, no, as much as possible you try to try to get out from the noise. Meaning, I'm referring here to the noise as the social media or the internet, no, and try to appreciate the beauty of silence and social interaction. All right, so with that, thank you so much, no, and I'm of course now ready for some of your questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. RJ. Our speaker for today is really beyond amazing. And with the help of our special guests for this afternoon or for this segment, we can deepen our understanding on the impact of social media on youth mental health. So please stay on the live stream for our open forum. And for our audience joining us virtually, you may join in the discussion by posting your questions through the open forum form link, which we have provided in the comment section of this live stream. You may also want to take or to post a shout out to your peers and colleagues, post it in the comment section as well. We will read your shout out for you. All right. And I am super duper excited to present to you our guests for this segment who will also be our moderators. Are you ready, Doc RJ? Okay.
Yes, it's done.
Right. Firstly, I would like to introduce someone who prioritizes mental health as one of the core values or the core programs of the center by creating impactful programs and projects, innovative services, and the promotion of mental health and general well being of the center's stakeholders. Because of her one of a kind approach to solving social problems, she is able to turn her visions into real life success stories. Let's welcome to our virtual stage NOLITC's Vocational School Administrator, Dr. Maria Cristina Orbicido. Hi, Doc Tina. All right.
Good afternoon.
Thank you. And to now for the second guest, she will bring real life insights on social media. She is a media person and has worked for several years as a radio news anchor. Let's give a generous clap to Miss Sally Carmen Trio.
Hi, Doc RJ. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Yep. And finally, to bring us more input, I'd like to introduce a millennial colleague. She believes that social media should be a platform for mental health awareness and credible information. She is an advocate of responsible social media use. Let us welcome on stage Miss Mimi Vargas.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Doc RJ. Thank you for joining us today.
Okay, so
Good
ladies,
afternoon,
shall
ma'am.
we start?
All right, Doc RJ, you gave us a very in-depth and thorough discussion of the pitfalls of social media. Do you think, on the flip side, that it has any positive impact on the youth?
Yeah. Good afternoon. Good afternoon once again. Of course, though, we mentioned earlier the different advantages and disadvantages of social media. And of course, though the disadvantages outweighs the advantages of social media, there are also some aspect of social media that are quite essential and helpful for the youth, no? Especially with regard to the mental health of youth. Let's say first is of course a social connection. So yeah, I again advocated on the social interaction, the face to face, but of course because of the gaps between maybe the distances between two person, or it bridges the gap. And with regard to the distances between two person, or maybe if one person is in another country, so you can easily communicate. Or with regard to many aspects of let's say I'll just focus on the education or on the academics. We learn a lot from social media. For example, in this platform per se, now we have learned on this topic, no, because we seen it in social media, the webinars, the educational seminars, or maybe talks on topics, no. And it is very common if you just know where to search or where to find those informative information, those information that could help you with regard to your studies and other educational requirements, no. Social media is also a great venue to look for information on the topics that you wish to do research or you wish to learn.
Yeah, I totally agree with your point that there's a balance between the good and the evil in social media. So the way you discussed presented everything is very clear. It's a decision for us to make, right? So what are the tools that you think would help, especially the youth, in their journey, for them to be more positive in using social media rather than it becomes harmful to them, Doc?
Yeah, I made mention about the issues concerning fake news. Okay, and this is very evident in social media because if you're going to look at the statistics, I'm not pretty sure on the source that I have, but I think there is a statistic showing that almost 60% of information posted in social media are coming from sources that are not credible, not
Mm,
reputable, and
yeah.
unverified sources.
Mm,
That's why one of the aspect may be that uh, youth or students could avoid the harm of social media is only to consume informations, news coming from credible sources. And you all know naman what are credible sources, no? Because credible sources, no, it really rings a bell. Babal ano ganyan kung anong pangalan sa mga sources ng mga credible versus sa mga sources nga kung ano-ano do mga pinalagpat ng mga pangalan sa mga sources nila, or maybe a post coming from a person that is not really an expert in the field. Yeah, so it's very important to sort out information and to consume only informations coming from credible, verified, and reputable sources.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's right, Doc. It's very important that people nowadays should really check on the sources.
They should also be able to discern how to properly, evaluate whether
Yeah.
the source is real or not. Because just because it's on the internet, it doesn't mean that it's verified.
Yeah, and that's something that would always lead them to think that, or maybe that would also affect their mental health. But some really are, especially the young ones, or yeah, there are also young ones who are very proactive and and intelligent enough to discern or to discern whether it is right or wrong. But some are being or getting addicted to it. So, Doc, how can we help or how can we intervene if there are friends or family members who are now addicted to social media? How can we help them?
Of course, we all know naman that most of our participants here are school age youth, no, and maybe most of the participants are schooling, are into school. Okay.
Yes.
And in any case that they are manifesting red flags or the signs of problems that may be problematic with regard to excessive use of social media. Okay. And most of our participants are school age youth, no, and eskwela. The magic word there is maybe a referral or a refer, especially that we all know naman, all schools have registered guidance counselors, okay, and other mental health professionals. In any case that they identify or see signs or symptoms manifested by social media addiction, no, amo na, they can refer to the respective guidance counselors of their schools so that the guidance counselor could give a proper intervention. Because again, our registered guidance counselors are really competent enough because again, they are trained to do that. So again, no, the magic word is refer. Maybe you could inform your guidance counselor, your teacher, that this particular classmate is manifesting problematic behavior pertaining to social media use. So again, you can refer to your teacher or your guidance counselors for proper intervention, because you yourself, no, hindi ka man ka-intervene, no, because you're not equipped to do that, no. So the best thing you can do is, of course, refer to your teacher, your guidance counselor, that particular maybe a friend or student manifesting problematic social media behavior.
Doc, do we have reported cases of locally of students being, so-called addict, or they're really hooked to social media?
Yeah. Actually, ma'am, if you're going to look into the signs, kung tanawon naton, many are manifesting the signs, but we tend to ignore that signs. It's because na-normalize na siya. Na-normalize na siya. But of course, if you're going to look into the signs, it is already a sign of a problematic social media behavior. But again, since no one, wala naman sa mega bat an eye on that, and it seems that na-normalize naman lang siya, so doon ka okay na lang. But technically, it's rampant, no? Though kadamo nagig-manifest ng those particular problematic behavior on social media. So that's why I'm
Doc,
listening
as
to
a professional, Doc.
Ayun.
Yeah. as a professional, you've really delved into psychology, and ginahambal mo na abla nga normal na siya. It seems normal. Um,
Normalize.
Na-normalize siya because, when you scroll your phone, when you tinker your phone, do ka normal, do ka pila na ka hours ang gina-spend mo sang bata, and then they'll just realize, ay, gabi na dali.
Yeah.
So that in itself is addicting, and that in itself is not a normal behavior, but it becomes normal due to the, what's happening right now, and even during the pandemic, where you cannot put some limitations, especially sa mga estudyante nga kailangan nila mag-connect. So, what advice can you give to friends or family members na they're going through addiction in social media, or they're trying to recover? Kay may nabatian ko na iba niya nga no social media day, do mga mo na bla, Doc.
Yeah. So going back to the discussion on the aspect of the importance of family interactions, no, and the social interactions on our family members, it's very, very, very important. Gito siya. And they are the most instrumental members, no, that could really help the I don't know the help the student or the person to overcome addiction. So let's say, for example, because again, the bottom line, it all starts in the family man eh. Kay tanawon ta bala, for example, there are parents that allows their children as early as 2 or 3 years old to use cell phones. No, it's a no-no. It's a no-no. No, and I think normalized na siya because again, natakpan na sila. For example, the child would throw a tantrum, so and of course the parents would natakpan na mag-deal, no, so hatagan na lang cellphone, no. The parents wants a shortcut to sa ano to end the tantrums by the children, and na-normalize na siya until such time nga gaga as early as 3 years old, 4 years old, 5 years old, the children are using cell phone till such time that it now becomes problematic because inang ano na eh, wala na social interaction, kagawin na physical activity, di ba? Looking back, let's say for example, sang bata kita ya, amo na ginapahampang kam lang sa gwa, there is always physical activities around there. And subong ya baliskad na ang mga bata way nagagwa kay, and they no longer play because again, they're into social media, cell phones, no? They are playing on their cell phones. So amo na, it all boils down man again sa aton nga family system. So if we normalize that in our family, no, so basically nang it starts there. But of course, if we have some modification on how we do things in our family, no, for example, before we eat, could be why we get the cell phone, no, or maybe 30 minutes or 1 hour prior to sleep, no, may nakamuga cell phone because again, cell phone really has an adverse impact on our sleeping pattern because of the blue light. That's why there are cell phones man nga may mga na-reduce niya ang blue light, no, something like that. And also maybe with regard to family members, no, let's try to normalize naman social interaction rather than substituting those social interaction sa interaction in social media. Kita na muna natin, even family members, mag-eat na, may nag-istorya na, kaya cellphone naman lang sa
Yes.
tupang lamisa. Diba? So it's sad to note, no? But of course, ang main player in overcoming this aspect of addiction in social media are really the family members itself.
Okay, yeah.
Doc RJ, going back to your mentioning earlier about the necessity for balance when you use social media, there should also be a level of self-awareness. And then you also advise to avoid triggering content. So how can you effectively identify what kind of content is triggering for you?
Yeah. In a behavior psychology, simple as what makes if you feel distress in the content, no, it's a triggering factor, no? So if you're not comfortable, so it's a triggering factor. It's already a red flag. So as much as possible, try not to explore those factors. Okay, try not to explore those factors. Once it makes you feel uncomfortable, no, you try to maybe ignore sites who are what do you call this, who are presenting stimuli that makes you feel distressed, okay, or maybe ignore people that makes you feel stressful, or maybe mga toxic, may mga people being supposed to be very toxic, and there is a lot of toxicity in the social media platform. If that person maybe is making you feel stressed because of his or her post, so why not unfollow the person or maybe unfriend the person? So with that, no. So as much as possible, your social media will be a lot more pleasing, no, compared to the those mga those previously identified nga mga post nga that makes you feel distressed or uncomfortable. So wala, unfollow, maybe unfriend people who are making you stress sa mga post nila, or maybe sites that makes you feel distressed and uncomfortable. So you cut off from social media that makes you feel uncomfortable. Social media sources.
So in line with that, Doc, yung mga trigger factors, kung na-feel mo nga it's not healthy, will it read down to kung sige-sige mo na siya lantaw or sige-sige ka expose sa fake news, will it read down to mental disorder? Ang effect niya sa imo.
Are you referring, ma'am, if
Like for example, you're exposed to a lot of negative news or fake news, negative ganan, nga comments, and then every day you're absorbing all this negative sa screen lang na ha, pero it really affects you. So are these examples of mental disorders na nga, you're changing
yeah.
your behavior because na-influence ka sa nakita mo nga post or na-influence ka sa fake news nga nabaton mo nga feeling mo hindi siya fake news, do ka mo na brado?
Not necessarily, because again, if we're talking about mental disorder, we have different criteria man to assess, and so that we could really diagnose that it's a mental disorder. But it may lead. For example, ang classical na example for that is with regard to post-traumatic stress disorder. No, the post-traumatic stress disorder does not necessarily mean that you need to experience the event firsthand. Okay, maybe vicariously, meaning through social media, through news, it may lead to a post-traumatic stress disorder. Okay, but not necessarily man disorder ni siya gyapon, but it may lead to some disorders, particularly the most evident is the post-traumatic stress disorder. For example, I'll give you an example. During balada ano no, the 9/11 attack in the US, no, people heard it from the news, and they can see in the television, no, the plane naigo siya sa building, no, and that itself, ang iban, though they did not experience firsthand nga wala dito sila sa scene, and they just heard it in news, they have they have ano no, nag-ano sila, nagka PTSD, nagka post-traumatic stress disorder sila because of that vicarious nga news, no, hearing from news and seeing from the television what happened in the 9/11 attack. So it can.
So, with that, Doc, how much is the reasonable amount of time that you will spend in social media in order for you not to, or to avoid the risk of developing a mental disorder?
Yeah, actually, if you're going to talk about the reasonable amount of time, there are studies that talks about exposure on the what do you call this, exposure to the computers or maybe a cell phone, no, limiting to maybe 3 hours, no, 3 hours. And of course, no, but of course, the bottom line is, as long as it's not interfering with regard to your functioning as a person, maybe professionally, personally, and socially, it's okay. But according to studies, no, as much as possible with regard to our utilization, utilizing or utilizing the most anong tawag nila, ang pinaka insakto lang for our health, no, for our eyesight and for our brain is maybe limit our computer use to maybe 3 to 4 hours per day. So at least, no, do ameliorate, do ano siya, do ka ameliorate niya ang effect.
Okay, so that was really an interesting discussion with you, Dr. RJ. This will be my last question for you. What would be your take or advice to the youth, particularly the teenagers, who have a very strong influence, yung comments ng mga peers nila in social media, like for example in Instagram, if they see something in their the Instagram account of their friends, they'll be affected. Kagkadamo sa mga parents nga gaakibot lang sila sa change of behavior sa ila kabataan, not knowing that was because of an issue sa social media.
Yeah. Um, we made mention about this is very common with regard to a cyberbullying. No? That is very common, and cyberbullying is an issue, a recurring issue again and again on social media. That because of maybe an issue between classmates or friends, no, and they're going to bully the other person, and it will cause a very strong psychological distress to other uh, person, no? So it's very important, no, it's very important that as much as possible, um, family interaction, no, try as a parent, for example, in the perspective of the parent, as much as possible, try to uh, communicate with your children, no, so that there will be they're comfortable, no? They're comfortable of sharing to you, sa parents, their problems and their issues, so that maybe, no, you can intervene with regard to how they would handle those issues of maybe cyberbullying, or cyberbullying bla, in the sense nga which is ablang common din bla ang ano bla, ang mga inaway-away bla parte sa mga nobyo-nobya bla, tapos
Yes.
ang isa ka party would bully the other party, no, until such time nga it's below the belt, no, and sometimes do kalain nagiging hambal sa social media, and it would cost a tremendous amount of psychological distress. So again, on my perspective, it's very important the family interaction as much as possible with regard to the parents. No, try to talk with your children, and until such time that your children are comfortable enough to share with you and to confide with you ang mga personal issues nila, because sometimes hindi mo na magano, hindi mo na kung mag-confide ang mga children, because maybe the parents are close-minded, and maybe wala man lang sila care on how their children, no, how their children experiencing, or how their children fare, no, with regard to their academics and everything.
Yeah. So thank you very much, Doc RJ, for your wonderful sharing, and we learned a lot from you. And we hope to see you again in our future webinars.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Doc RJ. And back to you, Miss Red.
Right. Thank you very much, Dr. RJ Alvarado. We hope that our learning session for today inspires ideas and discussions around ways we can improve our life, especially our social media life. Before ending, let's thank our speaker, Dr. RJ Alvarado, for sharing his expertise and knowledge in the fifth episode of NOLITC Cares webinar. We would like to show this certificate of appreciation. Okay. Certificate of Appreciation given by the Province of Negros Occidental and Negros Occidental Language and Information Technology Center proudly presents the certificate to Dr. RJY Alvarado for sharing his valuable expertise and commendable knowledge as a resource speaker in the webinar called Impact of Social Media on Youth Mental Health webinar held this April 19th, 2022, signed by our vocational school administrator, Dr. Maria Cristina Orbicido. And also, we would like to express gratitude to our guest speakers who have joined us in our discussion. Dr. Tina Orbicido, Vocational School Administrator of the Center, Miss Sally Carmen Trio, and Miss Mimi Vargas. Thank you very much, ladies. We have exciting lineup of speakers waiting ahead. Catch our NOLITC Care webinars that will be live streamed through NOLITC Facebook page and YouTube channel. I also would like to emphasize how you can get a digital certificate for attending this webinar online. You may scan the QR code which is flashed on your screen right now, or you may find the link in the description bar or in the comments section. Please do this right now or after the webinar ends. Kindly be careful with the spelling of your email address so it won't bounce back, as well as be careful with the spelling of your name. All right. The evaluation site, okay, will be opened until 6 o'clock this evening. So to those who are asking for the link of our evaluation, again, you can find it in our comment section. This Thursday, April 21st, come along and dive into the fundamentals of Python programming techniques, tools. This is a webinar on introduction to Python programming. Join us in the same platform that you are currently using, or you may find the registration link in our Facebook page. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much again for joining with us. Kindly comment in the comment section. Thank you. Say thank you to our expert speaker and to our guest speakers as well. And this concludes NOLITC Cares webinar. Please stay safe and take care. Keep smiling and stay strong. NOLITC Inspire, NOLITC Cares, Avance Negrense.